Welcome to another video from Dr. Lock. One of the modifications I did to my vehicle, my lock van, when I built this about a year ago, as you can see it's a bit messy, I'm just cleaning up at the moment. One of the mods I did was reversing lights. When you reverse, you have this light here, but it's not very bright. So by putting these driving lights at the back, they operate when the car goes into reverse, and they give you a really good light. So your reversing camera benefits, your mirrors benefit, your side mirrors. It really just works, because if you're in a lot of parking lots or dark places, when these lights light up, you can quite easily see where you're going. On top of that, they tell other people that you're reversing. They're kind of bright, so it's like people can definitely see you reversing. They lasted about a year. One of them lasted less than that. If you can see, it's got a bit of a brown tinge there. We'll have a look at that. I think water got into that one. I've got some new ones here. Now these ones here, they are the same size, and they even came with this gasket here, like this template. The original ones didn't come with that, so it took me a little bit of time to carve into the bumper bar the right size hole. But now they come with a piece of paper, which is awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these ones out here. Now these are LED, and these seem to be this new Cree type of bulb. So that's really good. It's going to take less power. It's extremely small, same footprint, so that's excellent. And they're going to do a better job and hopefully last longer than a year. And if they don't last a year, well, they're only cheap. You just replace them like light bulbs. So anyway, let's get into it. Let's swap them over. The reason I'm swapping them over is because these ones no longer work. At the end of the video, I'm going to do the wiring diagram for it. So if you're interested in putting reversing lights on your vehicle, you can see how to actually wire it up and how to hook it onto the reverse system without draining any extra power from your car's wiring circuit. Good one. Okay. So in the 1 year of purchasing these, they've remodeled it. We've got different bulbs, but look at the difference in thickness. That was one of the concerns I had when I was actually carving this hole in here, is because I have a bumper bar back there. But look at the difference now. So it's quite a difference. Okay, so now the moment of truth. So we've put them in, and as you can see they look pretty good, nice and shiny. You can see the old ones, how big and chunky they were. You can also see how some of them actually got water in them, and they all stopped working. So alright, so let's turn these on and see how they look. You can definitely see they're very bright. There's my reversing light there, that's nothing. You can see that one, you can see that one. They're definitely going to make a difference at night time. Let's do the wiring now.
So a quick explanation on the wiring. I find this to be important because some cars now with computers, if you start tapping into the wiring, all sorts of problems can happen, and they've got resistance values, and sometimes the car doesn't work, or you get a light trouble on the dash, or something else might go wrong. So what I like to do is use a separate power source, so I'm not driving these lights off any wiring that's in the car. I'm only using a trigger wire from the reversing light, which is easy to pick up, and when that supplies a positive to the relay, then the relay will open and supply the flow of power to the actual lights themselves. So the way this works is you've got a cable coming from the front with a fuse as close to the battery as you can, running all the way to the back. Then you install your relay, and your relay has a positive and a negative, and the relay also has a trigger wire. Now as soon as positive hits that trigger wire, then it will allow power to flow to the lights. So it's completely separate from the car's wiring. The only place it sort of taps into is the behind the reversing tail light, and I find this to be very effective. That way it's not really draining any power. As a trigger wire, it drains hardly anything at all, you wouldn't even notice it. But if I was running these lights directly off the back, or the back of the light bulb, it would put extra kind of strain and extra load on that particular circuit, and that could cause a light on the dash or some other problem later on, and we don't want to overload the wiring. Most manufacturers design things to do what they're meant to do, and when you start adding things to the wiring, sometimes they really don't like it. So that's a good way to do it. You can also do reversing cameras in a very similar fashion as well. That way you're not draining power from the actual light bulb itself or the lighting circuit. This one here is, yes, it's got its own circuit, and then it goes straight to the lights. The lights don't pull much power at all. They don't ask for much juice, but when I looked at the other lights that I just removed, I saw how damaged they were and how like water got in there as well. So in those type of conditions, it might actually start drawing a bit of power when they're shorting out or breaking down. And the last lights only lasted a year, so that's why I would say run it separately. One other point to note is that the fuse here, I'm only using a very small fuse, probably 3 amp. If you blow that, you can move up to 5, but stick with a small one to start off with. If you've got any comments, please leave them down below. If there's something else you'd like to cover, any ideas for future videos, please leave it down below, and thanks for watching.